This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, May the 20th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and it looks like summer just rolls along, even though summer's still nearly a month off. Our Skycam network from Alpha this morning shows some clear skies over Birmingham, and if we look at Fayette, we can see a little pink in the sky as we look off to the northeast there. So just a beautiful morning across central Alabama. High pressure stretching all the way from Maine down across into Alabama, keeping its hold on the eastern half of the country. And yet yesterday we had an interesting development with the development of Alberto just off the South Carolina coast. We'll talk about that in just a minute. There's the upper air pattern, and we've got two systems we're kind of watching, neither of which is too concerning. But first is Alberto, the upper reflection off the South Carolina coastline. Looks like Alberto will kind of meander there a little bit. Second is that we have a trough coming through the Mississippi River Valley, which is going to give us our best shot of rain probably Monday evening into Tuesday morning. This morning, though, temperatures are nice once again. We are seeing some spots dip down into the upper 50s. You can see 57 there at Gadsden, and most of the other locations essentially in the lower 60s. QPF, our quantitative precipitation forecast, indicates that rain's going to be somewhat slim over the next 5 days, and again coming primarily Monday evening and into Tuesday morning. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk for severe storms along the western edge of Lake Michigan, including places like Chicago, and some sea-text areas out in West Texas and out on the front range of the Rockies. And then for Day 2, which is essentially Monday and into Tuesday, no organized severe thunderstorms are expected. There's a look at the satellite image of Alberto. Alberto is not particularly strong, although due to some ship reports yesterday, it looked like it had increased in intensity, but the satellite image is certainly not that terribly impressive. As I say, Alberto is expected to meander around in the vicinity of the South Carolina coast, where tropical storm watches are in effect, but it's likely to meander around through about Tuesday, and then as that system comes across the Mississippi River Valley, that should sweep Alberto out to the northeast and get it away from the U.S. coastline. All right, the 06C GFS model run, and here's our pattern for today, and once again, the surface pattern indicating that we'll see some isolated storms, but nothing widespread. The trough edges over into the Mississippi River Valley on Monday, and so it looks like we'll see at least a little more of a trigger, a forcing mechanism for giving us some rain. The problem is, even though we could certainly use it, use the rain, the moisture is somewhat limited with precipitable water not that high across the southeastern U.S., so that's Monday. Tuesday, the trough comes by, and so there's that shortwave trough. That's going to sweep Alberto on out, and of course that will sweep the rain off to the east of us, so it looks like the rain chances really ending on Tuesday. And so after Tuesday comes, guess what? A ridge. You can see that trough over the Carolinas and Virginia, and then we see the ridge building in from the southwest on Wednesday. The ridge builds in on Thursday, and then it builds even stronger on Friday. And when Friday gets here, we've got a nice upper ridge centered over about Meridian, Mississippi. And then when we get into Saturday, that gets even stronger. Look at the 588 height contour all the way up into the Ohio River Valley. So definitely holding on strong and becoming well established, and it stays there for Sunday. So actually for the weekend, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we saw some temperatures climbing into the lower 90s for highs, with very little chance that we'll see much in the way of showers. Extending the forecast out a little bit into voodoo country, we do have at least a little bit of a hope. Here's the 29th, Tuesday, the 29th of May, and there's a substantial trough coming out of the Rockies, and that moves out into the Great Lakes area with a fairly substantial trough and a nice northwesterly flow, which means we at least should see a cool down, plus a pretty significant chance that we'll see some rain around the 1st or so. That could be the last day of May and the first day of June. However, remember, this is voodoo, so Well, let's be hopeful because we could certainly use that. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. James Spann should be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful day today and enjoy whatever it is that you have planned. Have a good day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.